So, in today's video, we're going to be talking about the top 3 best passive synergy combos in Hunty Zombies. Now, you may be wondering, what is a passive synergy? A passive synergy is when you use 2 different passives together to earn a third unique buff from the combination of the 2. Now that you know the basics, grab some popcorn, subscribe, and let's get straight into it. Right, so we're back with another banger on Hunty Zombies, and it's going to be a little bit more of a quick one, a little bit more of a calm one, while I have some bigger projects in the works. Wink, wink. But we're talking about the top 3 best passive synergies here. What are they, Valorous? Well, I'm glad you asked. You clicked on the right video. So without further ado, let's go see what passives are actually in the game. So as you can see, we have 10 passives in the game right now, but not all of these have passive synergies. There is a lot of these that aren't even thought about when it comes to synergies, as only 6 of these out of the 10 are used in these combos. For example, crit damage is not in a passive synergy, damage reduction is not in a passive synergy, attack speed is not in a passive synergy, and crit isn't. So, what is the third best passive synergy combo? Now, you've probably already seen that I have them equipped already. It is AP and attack. What does this passive synergy do, Valentless? Well, not only does attack obviously give you plus 3 attack and AP give you plus 20% skill damage, when you pair these together, they give you a little buff where every 5th skill you use deals 1.7 times damage. Now, this used to be one of the most popular combos to use in raids when Shogun got released. This is because you could clear it a lot quicker, but it's almost double damage that you get every 5th skill. And if you had your cooldowns maxed on your weapon, then this was a very, very good thing to have, as that means basically every 10 or so seconds you would be able to use 1.75 times damage, which meant you could clear raid bosses a lot quicker. Now, I will note a lot of these passive synergies are a lot more popular when it comes to raid, as of course you want to be able to get the best damaging passives. But there are some that are very useful in campaign, which we'll talk about later. But this is easily the third best in the game right now, and in my eyes, is still very good to have. So if you are missing some of the other passives we're talking about, this is still a very good one to get, albeit probably the rarest one to get. So I just wanted to show what the 1.75 times damage looks like. So I'm going to use my 4th skill using Twin Bloom, and it does 295 damage, as you can see. Now we're going to see how much damage it does with 1.75 times damage now. Now we got all the zombies here and we're just going to use it. As you can see, it does almost double. It does 517 damage. Now imagine you used your V ability for this. You're going to be doing a lot of damage on a raid boss, which is why this is so useful against the raid bosses, because it basically increases all of your abilities to an even greater damage pool. So, for example, Blindfold, you're going to be doing loads of damage with your abilities, as the base damage for that is about 6,000 for its abilities, and that's not using crits. Crits is about 10,000 damage. So imagine you had a 1.75 times damage increase with a crit as well on Blindfold. Yeah, you're going to be doing a lot of damage. Now that I've shown you the third best passive combo in my eyes, and you can see how good it is, like it is a really amazing passive synergy, and it's not even first or second. You're probably wondering, Valerie, you definitely got it wrong. There's no way that is the third best. What is the second best? Well, I'm glad you asked, my friend. As the second best passive synergy in my eyes is Fortune and Speed. Now, you're like, well, hang on a minute. This doesn't do more damage, Valorous. How is this better? I thought people want to be, super strong. Well, this passive will help you get super strong, and I'll show you how in a minute, but let me talk through what this passive synergy does. Now, passive synergy number 1 is Speed, gives plus 20% speed, and Fortune gives plus 20% total coins. Now, when you combine these together, you get 5% extra coins per kill. This means that you're going to be getting more coins. And what can you use these coins on? A lot of things. As you could use it to buy the daily shop, you can use it to buy the pet packs, the passives, the weapon effects, the emotes. You can buy normal spins with it. You can upgrade stuff. There's a lot of things you can use money for. And this is why it's taking the second spot, as it is the literal core of a money build, this passive synergy. It is really good for clearing fast and getting your money up as quick as possible, and for stuff like Hell, for example, and Endless when they get super fast. I don't know why you would use it in Endless late game, but if you have speed, it's very useful because zombies that are quite quick in Hell and later waves of Endless, you can outrun with the plus 20% speed increase, as well as whatever cosmetics and pets you have on. This is why it's taken the second spot. Now, it could easily be third now that we have a very quick method on how to get money quick in Endless without this, as it used to be Carnival Nightmare. But as I don't know if the Endless method is bugs right now, I'm putting it in second just in case they nerf Endless and make you use this money method again. But before we go into the first best weapon, I want to compare the money you get from just playing a game normally and then playing a game with this passive synergy. So without further ado, let's just show final outcome. Right, and as you can see, without this passive synergy, you gain 35,000, and with it, you gain 43,000. So nearly a 10,000 increase. But if you have a money build on, then you're going to be getting even more cash. And with ×2, is definitely the play to use this passive synergy. Which is why, in my eyes, it is taking the second spot. One, because we don't know if the Endless method is bugged and should give way less money. And two, for you guys saying AP and attack, I find this to be the starting grounds of you developing and getting better loot. With this little passive synergy, you can be earning way more cash to help you upgrade weapons, get the pets, passives, you know how it is. So, with that being said, what is the best passive synergy in the game right now, Balanless? I'm glad you asked, because in my eyes, the passive synergy that is the best in the game currently is AP HP. This is because when you have the AP, which gives 20% skill damage, and HP, which gives plus 80 HP, you deal 1.15 times damage when your health is over 80%. Now that probably doesn't sound as good as the Berserker passive synergy, which is attack and AP, where you get 1.75 times damage every 5th skill, but this is consistent because if you was to use a pet like Spirit Fire, Spooky Cat, Bat, literally anything like that, or anything that has loads of health or damage reduction, you're not going to be dealing anything under 1.15 times damage. In fact, you're going to be doing more with crits added as well, which is why I would say it's the first best. This is because it helps with clearing Reaper raid boss quick. It helps with clearing any raid boss quick, in all honesty. But of course, you need other stuff with it. But this helps you massively with killing the raid bosses exponentially. It is by far the best passive synergy in the game currently. I've used it in basically all of my videos. It is so useful because not only are you getting extra HP, you're getting more skill damage, and then the passive synergy called Healthy Power makes you deal 1.15 times damage, and because of that consistency, you're going to be doing high damage every single hit, which is why, in my eyes, it is the first best passive synergy in the game. And just to show you, I'm going to fight the raid boss with AP HP and then attack AP to see what truly is the best passive synergy to have. So without further ado, let's just do that. Now, it may look like, oh, that's only like 8 seconds. How is that truly better by 2 places than attack AP? Well, the reason I would say this is 10 times better is because it also gives you HP as well as skill damage, and in the long run for bosses like the Joker and the Vessel raid boss, it's a lot more useful as not only do you have a little bit more health, you're doing consistent high damage every hit. Which is why, in my eyes, this is by far the best passive synergy in the game. Now, do you think I got it right? Let me know in the comments. With that being said, that's today's video. I hope you enjoyed, guys. A little bit of a short one. My apologies. I've got some bigger projects in the works, and I also have to grind for some stuff, so I need a bit of that time, you know. But with that being said, subscribe, and I'll see you tomorrow, guys. Peace!